All right, awesome. So I believe you all can see my um yep. So here I am. I'm going to turn on the layout grids. This is what we have. Now we need to come to the understanding of certain things, and I'm going to be highlighting those things here right now. So one thing I used to say is this: it's I have known myself to always say this since I started teaching people anything that I know. One of the things I do, I ask a lot of questions. There have been many cases where I've seen my own students do certain things, and I've always run to them to tell them to teach me how they go about it. In a field like this, your growth is the most important thing, not what people think about you. Your growth. If you are good, you are good. There is nothing to negotiate about that, and you should be ready to do anything to be good, which includes asking questions. By the grace of God, one of the first things I learned from someone else in UI design is how to make this round. Let me quickly show you guys this thing. Yes, and the way I got to learn it was from a student of mine. He had no idea of design. He attended one of my master classes, and I saw him doing this. I was shocked. I had to go to him to tell him to teach me. He did teach me, and thank God today, look at it, I can do it now. If I had been so scared of what he would think of me by me asking him to teach me this, I would definitely, yeah, I might have learnt it some other way, but I don't know. I wouldn't know it. I still wouldn't know it that day. It cost me nothing to go to people to teach me, and that's why I like to ask questions a lot, because your growth is attached to how much questions you ask. I beg in the name of God, please answer questions, or ask questions rather. Nami go do the answering. I have the answers. You ask the questions. I beg. I'm hot right now. Alright, layout please. Um
So if it's not the question,
yeah.
how are you able to achieve that stuff?
Don't worry. I would most likely do it when we start designing.
Right.
If you have a pen with you, I believe you should be writing this down. If you have a pen with you. All right. So please, another question: does this thing make sense to you? These values I just this rubbish I just wrote. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, yes.
It does. All right.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it does. All right. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. So it applies to everybody. You all understand what the whole stuff I wrote here, yeah? Awesome. Okay. Um. Why did this happen? Apologies. I don't know why. All right. So for yes. So for the question about the margin size for what's it called, for desktop, many of us wrote 80. Yes, we are correct. But then when it comes to dashboards, you will realize that it's a bit different now. And oh my shit, I closed the tab. I didn't realize that. We will realize that it's a bit different in case of dashboards. In case of dashboards, you probably wanna stop at 40, and I will explain why. Once this is loaded, I will explain why. So you can see that this starts at 40 rather than the conventional 80, and in fact, it reduces down to zero. So the reason is pretty simple. Depending on what kind of dashboard you are building, you want to be able to have yeah. So this is a space in here, and if we check the value for this, we would see that it is 24. So this is 24. We can go 32, and max will go 40. But currently, for this particular dashboard, let's stick with 24 because it's already laid out. This has been laid out already. Now, if I hide this guy, we'll realize that there are actually no margins. So this is zero. Do we understand that? This is zero because it is already on the wall of the frame itself. And to this side also, you'll see it's already on the wall of the frame. So the margin for um, this particular dashboard is zero. It is not 24. It is not 24. It is zero. Exactly. Now, the reason why I kept it at 24 is because when we start filling in contents, we would not want our contents to start at the very edge, at this edge. No, we won't be starting our content from there. We'll be starting our content from this portion. So I'm going to draw out a ruler here, and I'll place that here. This thing can be difficult sometimes. Yeah. So I have that, and also on the other side, I will place one here as well. Then if I hide this guy here, I'll have this. And you can see this line aligns perfectly with this icon here, same as here. So for this dashboard, I can start logo, you can have my logo, set it to bold, make it 32, place it at the very top here. This is 24 pixel as well. So if I'm going to be drawing my layout grid for rows, I also want to set the margin to 24. Now, this can go as far as you want it. Now, the reason why I don't bother using this guy is because many times your page will expand, your page will get longer, and if it keeps getting longer, it will distort the count itself. So I just leave it the way it is, or I just use one. So these are lines to 24, and these are lines to 24 as well. Yeah. Alright, so the next important thing is how you choose your layout. How do you know what layout you want to use? So that is pretty simple. Before you design a layout like this, you want to understand what information do you have at hand. What information do I have? What information do I want to present to the user? If you're going to be dealing with a lot of data, then you need more space, you need more of these layouts. You need to be able to create more layout for the information you want to present. Take for instance this. This has more cards for more information compared to this. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? This just has 1, 2, 3, 4. This has even lesser. This has 1, 2, 3, and this is a whole card on its own. So I'll be telling us different scenarios where you can use these layouts. But more importantly, you need to know the dashboard you are designing. Will it convey many information, or is just a few information? All right. So ideally, you're going to be having your logo somewhere here, based on this layout. You're going to be having some icons here. Let's say um, the user profile, notification, message. You're going to be having those here. So quickly, let me load up some of my plugins. Alright, so that's that. Now, one other thing is this. There are different ways to designing your headers. I explained one yesterday, but I'm going to be doing another quick one today. So, because you'll be designing a dashboard and you'll be reusing a lot of components, I advise that you create your header separately. So I did something like this yesterday, and I'm going to be repeating the same thing today. In case you didn't grasp it yesterday, this is another opportunity. So this is going to be my header. I'll rename this guy to header, and I'll reduce the height to 80. I believe we are already familiar with something like that. Layout grid, I want how long? 12. I'm using 24. Yep. I'll borrow this guy, paste it here. These two guys, I will probably give them some unique color. Red, yeah, and this should be 95. I'll most likely gonna have a search bar, so let me center this guy, and it's gonna have F1. Then I'll have my logo. I may need a breadcrumbs too, so I will take this guy to the right. I will most likely reduce this. I'm making use of the grid lines that are available. Now, rather than me trying to measure what I don't know, I just need to align the grids with the provision that has been given me. In case of these ones here, the reason why they are actually distorted is because you count this one as a single unit. And so you make sure it starts at this end. If it's starting at this end, just ignore whatever is here and keep paying attention to the rest. So I'm going to be borrowing some icons from this icon patch here. So I'm looking for message, notification. And also search. This is going to be 14. Okay, so here also, I want to have a breadcrumb. I believe we all know what a breadcrumb is. Do we know what a breadcrumb is?
Yes.
Awesome. So one person answered. I want to believe we all know what a breadcrumb is.
No, sir.
No, sir. Alright, so somebody doesn't know what a breadcrumb is. Who else doesn't know what a breadcrumb is? Oh my. Now, two people did this class. Almost she will be sleeping.
You dey, sir. You dey
Una
o.
dey answer me
You
now.
dey.
Even if you sabi everything, just answer me I beg now. Eh? I need you guys to respond. I know they give me Bible. This is the stuff now. I'll just end this class now.
No, no, we are sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir. If I sabi everything wey I know, you go pay me o.
Sorry,
You go
boss.
pay me
Network is
o.
acting up over here. That's why.
Anytime you
I think
hear,
network is acting up over here.
anytime you hear what I say, just respond. If na chat you go drop, just drop chat. I need to know I'm communicating. I need to know I'm not teaching what you guys already know. I need to know I'm not wasting time. So, however it's gonna be, I just need your response. Because there are some detail I will probably just keep if I know you should know it. Now, if I keep skipping details like that, it's going to be to your own detriment because you may not figure out what it is. And these are delicate times. So, as I did say, by the end of the class, I don't want to start teaching you IDX again to any of you here. I believe by the end of it, because I want to teach everything you need to know. So if I don't know what you don't know, it's going to be a problem for. I beg again, please. Ejo, I cannot overemphasize. You paid money. Oh. It wasn't a free class. I swear, I'll just move on. Trust me. I can't be. Now, suppose dey pity una sef say una pay money. Make una no waste money abeg. Please. Last, some people no even still hear wetin I talk. It's the problem. Alright, so shit. This is a breadcrumb. Have we seen this guy somewhere before? Has anybody at any point in time seen something like this before?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this is a
Yes.
breadcrumb. This is a
Yes,
breadcrumb.
sir.
Yes, sir. This is called breadcrumbs. Yeah, so alright, alright. So this is how you design a breadcrumb. Just please watch the progression. This is how you design a breadcrumb. I don't know, but you guys have to pay attention to the spacing. There's an equal number of spacing between them. You can confirm that from here. There's an equal number of spacing between them. The the last page, which is the most active page, which is the currently active page, has a different color. Are we noticing those details?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. All right. So once you're done with that, you want to add auto layout. Please, can anybody tell me why I added auto layout to this?
I feel because of the
Because of the
perfect
perfect
padding.
padding. All right. Who else? I would. Thank you for your answer, Mayomide. So who else knows why I added auto layout to what I just did?
I don't know much about layout, but I feel it aids in responsiveness
All right. So
and
we okay. Okay. Thank you for your answer. So who else? One more answer. One more answer, please. One more answer.
It make it equal and perfect, sir.
To make it what?
Equal and perfect.
Okay. Well, and that perfect. I don't know, but to make it equal, yes. Well, it can be perfect. We can get perfection. Okay, so it's pretty simple. It's actually okay. So one more thing. One more thing. I'm sure. Let me zoom in this thing. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in well, so we can see something. We can see something with our own eyes. If you look closely at this thing, you will see that it's not aligned. Or am I the only one seeing that?
yes, it's not aligned.
Can someone tell me how to align this?
Yeah, so I feel if you come to this icon here, there is something there which is aligned horizontally. This thing that I don't know. It
So you
has,
can see
I
it
think,
now.
put horizontal spacing.
Which part? Here?
Yes.
Okay, all
The
right. So
last
simple.
one.
Don't let me waste your time. You can't get it done here. So this is where you fix it. This is what works for auto layout. So if I click on this guy, you would see that there are different positions where I can align this. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in so you would see this even clearly. So this guy here, if I click on it and if I select here, it shifts. So you can. So in case you're going to be doing something, just experiment with this guy. You see, it is arranging it at a different position, but I want it to arrange it. I want it to align it to the left center, or center. But let's just use left centered because the text are flowing from the left. Now, the reason why I use auto align is for responsiveness. That's the simple answer, responsiveness. So if I change this to home, you see automatically it aligns itself, keeping the same distance, keeping the same distance, maintaining the same distance.
Wow.
Did we see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. So once that is done, I bring this one here. So if I'm done, I select my header, create a component out of my header, and let me remove this guy. So this is my header. See, in UI design, you don't need to be a master to design beautiful things. You just need to know what to do. When I'm teaching you to know what to do. And that's why I believe that every question I'm asking, no matter how foolish the question is, it is because it is important. You don't need to spend 8 months of your life learning to design. See, trust me, you can gain this perfection in 4 weeks. I'm sure of that. I'm very sure of that. You can gain it in 4 weeks. You don't need 3 months to learn this perfection. What I just did here is you can do it, and you can do it even neater. Only if you can just practice, you can pay attention to what is being taught, pay attention to the important parts of what is being taught, ask questions, and practice. If you can do this, you are actually going to design perfectly. Trust me, I'm very certain of what I'm saying. Alright, so that being done, I can copy this guy and bring it here. I don't want it to have the background, so I will just remove the background. I'll just remove this guy. So here we are. Here we are. And I'm gonna make this guy white. FFF. Here we are. And as you can see, everything aligns perfectly. That's our dashboard. Alright, so moving forward. The next place you want to pay attention to is this site navigation. This part, this place here. So you need to ask yourself, what kind of site navigation do I want? Is it going to be colored or is it going to be plain white? You choose. You get to choose. You get to choose what options you have. The moment this is colored, you know we can't use black anymore here. I believe you all know we can't use black anymore here. If I say using black, I can shoot you. So I turn it to white. In case you see me perform any magic, just let me know. At least I've not done any magic before now. Everything is simple. How did I came about this, guys? I use my grids. In case you are not certain of that, let me show you again. You see, this is spanning from left to right and it's aligning perfectly with the grid. It's aligning perfectly with the grid and it's running from left to right according to these grid lines. So nothing, I didn't come up with any of these things just by random thinking. I have 24 here, I have 24 here because my grid lines have a padding of 24. You see, 24 got that 24 margin. So my margin at the top to bottom is also 24. Left to right 24, left to right 24, left to right 24. Now, the differences of 1, 1, 1, 1 is because of what's it called? Okay, so I'll just adjust this and I'll adjust this, and then I have 24 perfectly. So please, just pay attention. Everything is pretty simple. As I said it before, if you don't know how to use these grid lines, you will really suffer when you are designing dashboard. It is not a cause. That's just it. It's as simple as that. Alright, so the next part is this guy here, which you have your site navigation. So once again, I'll borrow this guy. I'll borrow him. I'll take him to the top. One thing I want to do, what's the distance here? 20. So I want to know the distance between here. Like this place has to be start from the very top, and that's 100. So from here to the top is 100. So I place this guy here. 100 in wow. 100 in wow. So this guy, I'll turn it to a frame. It's now a frame. Remember, this was also a frame. So this is a frame. I would use my layout grid. This time I'm going to be using rows, not column, rows. My margin is going to be 100. You see that? 100. So this is 100. So once I've gotten that, I can start designing my menu. Okay, so I would also need a column. The reason why I need a column is pretty simple. I need a spacing of 24 pixels. This can be 2. I need 24 pixels. Yes, on this side. So if I just need to align, yes, that's perfectly aligned. So I have 24 and I have 100. I don't need this guy to be big. I need it to be all caps as well, and I need it to be 14. I don't want it. I want it white, or at least a shade of the background color itself. So I'm going to take this to 60, or let's say 80. I don't want it to be perfect white. All right, that's good. So next thing is this. I want to arrange my menu. Pretty simple way to do it. Very simple. I adopted this recently. Because your menu is going to have an highlight color, this is going to be 40. Yes, 24, 24 left and right. 40 at the top. I want this guy to be standard height of the bottom, and I want it to keep it at 40. I want to keep it at 40. I'm going to give it a border radius of 12. 8. So 8 is good. 8 is perfect. And it's also going to be a shade, and this is going to be 60. Yes, 60 is good. Alright, so this is also going to be a frame. I'll convert it to a frame. Yep. Then I'll select my layout grid, select column. I want to keep a padding of 16. I need this to be. Who is that? Yeah? Hello? Okay, Hamza, what's up?
Yes.
I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. I can't hear you.
I said you were copying the different with the phone.
Can you type in your question instead? Please. I can barely hear you. Type in your questions. I will just attend to it once you drop it.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Please, I have a
Please, I have
question.
a question. Yeah.
How did you know
How
to
did you
use
not use
100 rules for
100 rules for
this
this
particular
particular
part?
part? How do I know it is 100?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
Like why do you use
why do you
100?
use 100? Okay, very simple. I want my menu to align with this guy here. This is where the dashboard begins from. So if I draw a ruler and I put it here, the distance between this ruler to the top is actually 100.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You see?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's how I got to know.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that 100 is not a fixed value, please. It's not a fixed value.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let me borrow. Oh my, why is this always loading? All right. So before we continue, I want to teach us a trick I've actually explained before, but I would assume that we did not put it to practice, and I will explain again. I will explain again once this thing is loaded. I will explain again. Now you guys don't practice, oh. Like we've gone far. We've gone very far. I'm sorry, I'm not teaching us how to design screens. I believe every knowledge we gather from here should equip us to do that. So I'm going to copy these two categories of icons, just these two. I'll copy them. I'll go to my dashboard. I will create um, a new page. I'll call it icons, and I'll paste them here. Does this sound familiar? Does this look familiar? Anybody? I've done this before. Does it look familiar?
Yes, sir.
Do we know? Can someone remind me of why I'm doing this? All right. Let me just continue. Let me continue. Let me continue.
We are going to make those icons assets.
Awesome. Yes, simple. That's all. That's all. That's all. So if I need home, I just carry this guy and I bring it here. So instead of me going to and fro to look for icons, I have it already, ready to use. Thank you, Emily.
Yes.
All right. So I'll change this guy's color to white, and then I'll have dashboard white as well, and it's gonna be medium. Voila. All right. So this is gonna be a component as well. Let me take it out. Yep. So once that is that, I'll create another one. But this time it's going to be, this is going to be empty. I won't delete it. I didn't delete it. I just hit the color so that I can still have that height. And I'll change the font colors to this one. All right. So I can also make this another component. Then I'll drag it in here. The icon 20, that's good. 20 is good. And I can keep duplicating. That's enough. So that I can have dashboard, I can have category. To change the icon, I'll just click on this icon. I'll come here, and I have a list of icons. I just need to scroll. If I know the name, I'll just enter it. But this time, I want it to be the light. Yes. And I want to keep the color.
So is that
What did you say?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm really confused about this one you're doing. So basically, is it when okay, so after bringing my icon, after bringing my icon,
I'm sorry, I'm losing you. As
it's
though you are
taking.
far from your microphone.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can, but then it's going down. It's going down. I'm listening.
Okay, yeah. So I asked, I said this icon stuff, the asset.
Mm-hmm.
Is it when you create that page for it?
No.
As a
Creating
way
another
the
page. Okay. Just finish up with your question. Finish up with your question.
okay, so I think I'm confused about the asset area and the way we're able to change it from code to from field to outline.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah, that's it.
let me explain. I know. The last time we had a class together, you and I kind of like explained this, but I assume you've not practiced
Yeah,
with it. That's why it's still confusing. So let me go over it
okay.
again. Me creating a page has nothing to do with me creating a page is because I already told us that whenever we are bringing anything into our project that has its own uniqueness, create a page for it. It's just for
Okay.
organization. So creating a page is just for organization. Now, currently, the why I need to bring the reason why I actually brought the whole icon into this work area is so that I can access it at once. When I come to assets, it is available for me to use. So that is the first advantage. I don't have to go outside to make use for icons. I have all the icons inside my project. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
I get. Is it even when I copy it inside that page, it's going to appear in asset?
Come again with that. What did you say?
Is it until I copy and create another page for it, the
No. As
layers
I
page? That's
mentioned, I said creating another page has nothing to do with it. See, okay, let me remove it from here. Let's just practicalize this. I will remove it from here and I'll put it exactly where I have my dashboard. But I'll still be able to access it all the same. It's already in this it's already in this Figma page. So it doesn't actually mean I have to create a page for it. So now I want to make profile. I just need to search. I will still be able to access its profile. And as you can see, it's still here. Me creating a page for it has nothing. If I delete this page, I'll still be able to change the next one. Can you see that? The point is,
okay.
the point is, it is now in this page called dashboard layout. Ideally, what people used to do, what I used to do before, is I need to open that icon pack, and then I'll copy, then go back to here and I'll be pasting. That is a total waste of time. So instead, even if sometimes I copy the whole of this feather icon, I copy the whole of it into my project. Reason is so that I can be able to access it, as I have said.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I can change it is because once you have an asset anywhere in your project, see, even if it's this, this is now an asset. This whole button is an asset.
Yes.
Now, if you look at this page, you see that I can actually change it. I can change it. I can change it to this guy, and I can change it back.
Okay.
Did you see that?
Yes.
All right. Now, to make this more fun, and I'm sure it's not going to be confusing because I've explained, I really explained. In case you don't understand, we have done it before, so just go and recap on some of the classes we've done. I'll select it all, and I will combine as variants. So by doing that, I can switch between bold and light just by a single click. I can switch. Let me change this color. So I can switch to any of the icons, and I can switch between the bold and light at any time. See, the only way you will get this thing is if you practice. Like, there's no two ways about it. I can explain till Jesus come, but really, practice is what you need. The moment you start practicing, if you get stuck, ask a few questions. Once your question is answered, go back to practice. That's the way, man. That's the way. I will just beg us to do more practice. Take more time um to go over everything we've explained over and over. So now I'll just look for logout, change it to light. Alright, so now we have our menu. Once we have our menu, we'll convert our menu to what's it called? We make our menu a component. Gbogbo nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe yìí ṣó make sense.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Alright. Alright, so not to waste time, I'll delete this guy and I'll bring in this one. Send to the back. I'll hide this guy here. Ah, online mi wọ́n tún fún mọ́. Okay, so we are moving forward. Alright, so alright, so let's continue. Now then someone's mic is not mute, it's disturbing the class, please. Alright, so the next thing here I would love to talk about is this guy here. Now this can be anything, but particularly I want to use it for something, and I want to show us one of the few ways you can make your design sweet and creative. It's becoming a trend now. What I'm about to do is becoming a trend, so I want you guys to learn from it and pick up a few things. So in case you are designing a dashboard that doesn't really have much, that doesn't have a lot of information flying around, you would want to create a call to action card. Now, if it's a simple dashboard, a dashboard that only has a few things going around, you want to create a call to action card. So I'll take this guy, I'll move this guy up. Here is good, and once again, I'll turn it to a frame. Can someone tell me why I keep turning everything to a frame?
Yeah, because of layout.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Please, because of what?
The layout grid. Okay, a layout grid can only work
Layout
on.
page.
Yes, see this guy now. This guy is not a frame. If I select it, you can never see layout grid. Show you there. But this one is a frame. If I click it, you'll see layout grid. Does that make sense? Eh? Omo, they don't air me again. Ah.
Yes,
No,
it does. It
no,
does. It does. It does. It
no,
does.
ẹjọ́
Yes,
mo
sir.
fọlọ́ bẹ̀yìn torí Ọlọ́run
Yes, sir.
ẹ má jẹ́ máa bára mi sọ̀rọ̀ náà ẹjọ́ náà.
Our network is bad.
Our network is bad here. Oh.
Yes, our network is bad too.
Ọmọ wàhálà for who no get private internet o.
Sir, me ask you. Sir, network. Have you network is bad, very. Bad.
Does that make sense? Okay, so I assume you know what I'm talking about now.
No, I didn't get that.
No, I didn't actually. I wrote something on the card. Did you read it?
Yes, yes, I just did.
Okay, so does it make sense?
I don't get it.
Yeah?
I don't really get it.
Okay, so I'll just explain now. I'll explain. One second.
Thank you.
Alright, so this is a call to action card. Use it wisely. Many times this will come in handy whenever you want the user to take a very important action every time they use the system. It's a call to action card, meaning the user would always, you want to push this card to the face of the user. Now, if your app is a savings app, Are you listening? This is user experience. If your app is a savings app, what is the most important action for the user to take on the app? The question is directed to you.
Sorry, sorry, if the what?
If this is a fintech application, a savings application, what is the most important
Okay.
task for the user to do whenever he opens the app?
And make transaction. Save.
Exactly, save. That is the transaction, not just any transaction, but save. You want the user to save money. So when I say this is a call to action card, it simply means you must. The only time when you should use this card is when you want the user to take that specific action. And I say again, whenever you want the user to take a very important action every time they use the system. So you use this card to push it to their face that, hey bro, save. Show make sense.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense now. Thank you.
All right. So I'm most likely going to change the background color to this guy. But then it's going to be 95. So once that is done, I'll make this guy a component. Can someone tell me why I keep using everything as components? I think I've asked that question, Seth. But you know bad if someone answers me again, just to be sure we are getting why. Why do I keep making everything a component?
For usability. You can put it that way.
Just to make it, probably there is a general changes you want to make. It will help us to make the general changes.
Eh? Wallahi me bro. Abeg, what did you guys say? Abeg, I didn't get
Me,
what
I
you
said
said.
for usability, like you might need to use another place, so you don't
Oh,
go back
awesome.
and be.
Okay, thank you. Mide, what did you say, please?
Okay, probably there's a problem with the feature that it works so far. You can actually change it once.
Yeah, you're right. You're both correct. So the advantage of making a component is in case you want to use it somewhere else, this is going to contain a text. That text may not apply for another page. So you don't want to design everything all over again. So you can just change the text, change the and all. And if it's the image, you will change. But then everything keeps the same design. And in case there's a mistake, probably there's a typo, you can easily change it once and it applies to all. So thank you very much. You're correct. Alright, so I want to bring an illustration into this white space here. As I would always say, my favorite illustration resource website is storysets.com or stories.freepik.com. So while it load already, let's just look for save or wallet or money or something. Save. Which one looks like save here? I like this picture. So I'm going to download this guy. Oh yes, that's a pot of money. anyways, in case when you are designing a real product, it has to actually depict the whole idea of it. But I like the idea behind the illustration. That's why I'm using it. So I'll bring this guy in. In fact, I like the color set. This is 240. 240. So you see, automatically it's there already. No need to be arranging it myself again. It's there. So people of God, what do you think of my dashboard so far?
makes sense. It makes
Makes sense.
sense.
All right, so let's continue. Have I done any magic? Have I done something you've never done before or you've never seen before?
No.
Yes.
Somebody said yes. Who is that? Omolola, you said yes. Omolola, I want to shoot you.
No. Continue.
All right, trust me, I've not done anything you've not seen me do before. I've not done anything here. I've only done it more times than I've done it in other scenarios. But everything I have done here so far, I've taught it before. So you see, so you don't need to be a master to design something as beautiful as this. You really don't need to be a master. I'll keep saying that. So the next thing here, I'm going to be having a profile card here, a profile card. So the same thing I'll do, I'll borrow this guy here. I'll borrow this guy. What will I do next? Anybody? What am I doing next?
Okay, let's frame it like everything you are doing.
What am my bad, I'm mute, Omolola. Please, I need you guys to pay attention. She's also a newbie designer like everybody here. The more you answer questions. See, if she's doing better, the reason is simple. The reason is because she's actually paying attention. I want you guys to pay equal attention. Shedbo, I beg in the name of God.
Yes, sir.
See you and you, I will send you come out of my class very soon.
Ah, Joe.
Okay, what's the problem? Alright, so I'll make it a card, make it layout. Same thing. I need it to be two. Oh no, one. This is going to be one. The margin is going to be 24. I hope it's not too thin. But let's keep to 24. What else? Then I need rows too. I need rows. My row will be 10. Yes, perfect. And then my margin will be 24 as well. Alright, so you would see why I actually did what I did. So inside, I'm going to have in a profile picture, square or circle? Circle
Circle.
already. Alright, so watch this, people. Watch this. I've actually not made any serious use of the rules before, but I'll be making use of it now. So I'm going to have name, centered, and I don't know what kind of app I'm building, so I really don't know what is going to be. But let me put occupation. By the time I'm done, we'll know what I'm building. But right now, even myself, I don't know. So this is going to be 16 or 20. Let's go to 20. Centered 20, 14. Let's go to 12. This should be 14, and it should be 8. 8. Okay, then if that's the case, let's make it aligned here. You have 25. 1, that's 24. Awesome. 8, I'll make this 18, 16, then this should be 10. So it aligns to this one. All those things I just said, does anybody even know why I did what I just did?
Yes, sir.
No. No.
No.
No.
Please, you don't ask questions. You don't ask questions.
No.
See, naturally, I'm a fast designer. Like, I've had many people complain because of how fast I go. So, it will be natural for me to keep doing the same thing. But when you ask questions, I know I'm moving too fast. And I know I need to slow down. If I did not take time to ask that question, that one would just have gone. And we would assume we are good to go. Hey, Joe, more overemphasize. Emma, the question. Shego, I can't be doing magic. I don't want to do magic.
All right,
Let's
sir.
just ask questions. Please. Again, please. Alright, so I would explain now. Now, I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping to standard values. And at the same time, I'm not breaking the consistency with my design. That's why I was testing different numbers at that point in time. I want to make sure that by the time I'm done aligning everything, I'm either aligning this to this line. Did you see that snap? To that line, that orange line. I want to make sure I'm keeping to either this line or this line. And at the same time, maintaining standard values, numbers that are divisible by 4. So I keep testing those values. This is 36. 36 is too much, so I'll keep it to 24. I keep testing these values until I have a perfectly aligned design. So that's what I am doing. That's what I kept doing here. 24 now is too much. This is a lot of space. So let's keep it down to 20. Now, if I keep it down to 20, if you look closely, we have some sort of alignment here. If it's good enough, we stop it. We keep it at that point. At that point. Now, whatever we are having next is expected to start from here, from this point. So that's why I was changing those values, just to have something that suits. Does that make sense now?
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
sir.
Yes, boss.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I would keep going back and forth is because over time I've realized that many of us don't really come to understand the point of many of the things we do. And if we do not understand, it's just going to be a waste of time because we won't be able to do much. And there is no gain if you can't make up those design decisions. There's no point. Trust me. And I really value your time. I value your time and I value your efforts to learning these things. But more importantly, I shouldn't be as concerned, I shouldn't be more concerned than you. So if at all you are not understanding, you need to call me back. You can't waste my time because you already paid for it. Me, I will keep emphasizing for the fact that you paid money. You paid for it, so you cannot waste my time. And really, it's better you get it once and be sure you've gotten it than for you to assume you've gotten it. Then you get to where you need it, you can't do it. Please, in case I'm doing anything you don't find sense to, don't try to decipher it. Ask immediately.
Thank you.
Yep. So did we see that? You see this now. You see this.
Yes,
This is
sir.
40. I did not calculate this, but for some reason it is perfect. It is perfectly aligned. Reason is because right from the beginning of the design, I made sure that I'm using standard values. This is 20. If you select this, you have 12. This is 36 by default. It's not calculated. But for the fact that we are keeping to standard value, we are bound to have standard spacing. By the help of this grid, we are able to attain standard spacing even without calculating anything. So people, as I did say when I started this class, that if you still do not understand how grids work and you are not asking the question, you will not be able to design dashboards. You will not. Not it will be hard for you. You will not be able to design standard dashboards, like good looking dashboards. And you're a UI designer. You must know how to design dashboards. You must know. You must know. You must know. It's very important. Alright, so you have phone number, email, address, and what else? What else? Location. Nigeria. 20 Maryland. We can do that, or we can break it into the next line. That's like the better thing to do. All right, so once we have this card, to make it more interesting, you can have another call to action at the lower part of this design. So what I'll do is, once again, I would take this button, I'll bring it here. I can resize, I can rescale this button. Something is wrong. Okay. Alright, so I can fix that. Let me fix that. Go to main component. If I remove this one, I can give this a field property. No. Oh my. Wow. Okay, no problem. All good. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Yeah. Alright. Yep, fixed. So we can have another let's say view or view series. This can be anything depending on what depending on whatever you are designing, child. So you can have a note here that says your savings are yielding well done. Center. Centered. Make it 24. Align it to that guy. Give it breathing space. I need another illustration. Wallet. For this guy. I don't like this guy. I like this guy. So we're going to bring it down 96. 96. So this is too big. Let's turn it down to 20. And let's change the color from green to purple. And here we are. We can remove these guys and see what it looks like. Let's add a picture. Beautiful. Once again, make it a component. I'll delete you and I'll bring you. Align 24. Alright. Oh my, I love this dashboard. I declare today, this is like this is one of the most beautiful dashboards I've ever done.
It is really looking beautiful, sir.
Like even me, I'm admitting that I don't think I've done that like as neat as this in a long time
I'm I'm
or recently.
I'm just so happy seeing this dashboard.
Yeah, what? What did you say?
I'm just so happy seeing this dashboard. Like it's making me happy.
Kidding, so bad. Oh, okay, was it go? Was it go, Omide? Okay, so
Thank you.
yeah, so I really don't know. I'm not so sure I know what should be in this thing. Time is fast spent, but I will do one more thing. I'll do just one more thing, and then we can call it a day. I'll do one more thing. Omolola has the question. I said I was going to answer it. So because of her, I'll be doing one more thing, and it's very important. So one other thing you want to have on your dashboard, it doesn't mean you will always have it on your dashboard though, but most times you would have it on a dashboard, and that's your metrics. Metrics. So I will take this card and I'll be doing a metrics page. So please, what is the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to make it a frame. Then I'm going to set my layout. Just like I did here, I'm going to be using 40 pixel padding. 40. And on the top, I'll use 32. So here I'm going to have matrix. I'm going to copy this property. I'm going to paste it here. Matrix. Well, please, before I even continue, does anybody have any question?
Well, I have one. I don't know if it's important, but here goes.
You don't know if it's important. I
Yeah,
wrong.
so let me just start.
It is important, trust
Like
me.
this whole
As you
thing,
know.
this whole thing, the paper card, the I think it makes more sense to do it during the design system. Like when designing the site design guide, the style
Of
guide.
course, of course, of course.
Okay, thank you.
The reason why I keep making it a component is because it should be a component, and you design your components while using your design system.
Yeah, thank you.
Ehen. Now, if by chance you did not create a design system for this, the moment anything you create now, probably you have not done this before, and then you start your UI design. For as long as you keep creating these things that you are sure you will use later, you need to make them a component so that you can keep them in your components page or components file or whatever. So this is one of the things. One of the things you design in your in your design system is layout. I think I've showed you guys some of you before. That layout is a part of the things you design as part of your design system. So this is a layout, and I remember by the see this is another layout, and this is another layout. So by the time you start designing, you know what you are designing. You've created a room for what you are designing, and each of those things have to be created as though they are components. Sure, you understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah. It's actually bad practice to be creating like new things, entirely new things on your UI. It's actually bad practice. But anyways, we are growing, and that's the point, yeah. I used to do it before.
Yeah,
I don't even used to play design system before ourselves. Okay,
arigato.
so yeah, all right. So everybody just listen, pay attention to this. It's no big deal. It's no big deal at all. I'm going to make this guy align. I don't care what the size is. I'm just going to make it align with this grid. See this guy here, this small circle here. If I pull it, if I drag it, if I drag it, this happens. If I drag
But
this one
please,
like
can
this,
you
can I what?
Can you do that again?
Just pay attention. The moment you select your circle, this small guy appears. So all you just need to do is drag that guy. Did you hear that?
Yes, yes.
And then this one at the center, you drag it also. This happens.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can balance the sizes here so it does not remain decimal. And then you can give it border radius to make these edges round. You see that? For me, I'll just leave it like this. Then I'll create another one. I'll select the one that is underneath and I'll close the gap. Then I'll select the one at the top and I'll change the color. I have that. I'll select the two and I'll group it. Make sure they have that's 30, it should be 40. Once that is done, I can write my what is this for. So this should be
So are there any build or zones for this thing?
for which thing?
For the metric?
None that I know of. Just design it properly.
Okay,
And
and there's no idea. There's nothing like identifier. It just depends
no,
on
no, 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 no,
your
no, no. If your
standard
card
of
is this big, it has to be visible enough. There's no ideal size,
okay.
but it must be visible. Sha. It's not something that will be so tiny you won't be able to make out what you are trying to
Yeah,
show
yeah.
us. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Mm, okay, let's swap pieces. Sure, it makes sense, man.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, so you can have multiple matrices. So rather than having circles this time, you can have something else. You can have like a graph. So there's one other thing I want to teach us quickly, and I'll be ending the class from here. There's one kind of graph that is usually very common. Many people used to ask, do I draw it with my hand or do I have a plugin? There's a plugin for this, but really, many many times I just use my hand. Sha. So I'll duplicate this guy. Watch. I'll duplicate this guy. I'll go back to the one at the bottom. I'll press enter. So I'll have access to those endpoints again. I'll select my pencil. I'll continue from where I stopped. I'll click that guy. And I'll draw a round corner and I'll end it here. It becomes one full object itself. I'll remove the stroke. You can't see it anymore. I'll remove the stroke and I'll use a fill. For my fill, I'll use a gradient, a linear gradient. For the color at the top, I'll select this thick purple. For the color at the base, I would select the vanishing purple, and in fact, I'll reduce it to 0. I'll close that. One other thing I'll do, I'll select one at the top, and I will select the purple color again. At the end, this is what it will look like. I know you all must have seen these guys design graphs like this somewhere. I can also play with the opacity to make it more realistic.
I love this method, sir.
Yeah, that has been my style. I, yeah, so seeing that I have this real estate, I want to readjust this guy to no, it's too far. Let's just keep it like this. Alright, so what else? Another your performance, let's say your earnings. Instead of 80%, let's have $4,200. And let's say plus 220 this week. Make this a group, make sure it aligns perfectly. Um, and so on and so forth, child. You can have another kind of graph here so as to fill in the space. Once that is done, same thing. Make it a so, ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. We have a dashboard, man. A simple, clean, easy. Just as I said, creating dashboards became easy the moment I realized how to use layout grids. So I can promise you, you can design something as clean as this if you would pay attention to every tips I gave you into this class. If you have any questions, do well to drop it in the group chat. If you need some more explanation, you can reach out to me. The video will be made available. Yeah, what did you say?
I don't know if you can approach it again. I'm actually designing it again.
I'm not calling you.
I said I don't know if you can actually draw this thing again. I'm trying it again.
Hi. Don't
Sir,
worry, we'll talk, Sha. Only me will go. Yeah,
sir,
what
can
did
you
you
hear
say?
me?
I
Can
can
you hear
hear
me?
you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah, the second graph, like the
Yes.
second graph. Can you please do it? The second matrix. The one you use pencil for.
I should do it again.
Yes, sir.
Like I would love to end the class now. I'm so sorry. It's almost 12. I need to do something by 12. I would love to end the class at this
Okay.
point. Yes. Don't
Sir,
worry.
please help us drop this stuff because these resources.
This one in particular, ba.
Yeah, the link so we can duplicate it. Sir,
Hey, they want to copy my design.
ẹjọ.
Ṣé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí mo ti kọ́ ẹ bí olúwa ẹ̀ ṣe tún fẹ́ copy design ìwọ ọmọ yìí? You know what will happen? You see this particular one, I don't know what I would do. Probably I would drop this guy here so that you all can, I want you all to work on this particular dashboard. This one here, the layout is already here. So I want you guys to work on this one. I would most likely I'll create a page and I will paste this layout into that page. Okay, so this instead, this is the total resources for the entire um, class. We'll use it for the entire class. So I'll drop the link. I would paste the layout I want you guys to work on. I'll paste it inside that link. So I want this to be done ASAP. If you have the time, if and I believe you should have the time. Really, this took us 1 hour 25 minutes to design. You know, if I were not teaching, if I was not doing the teaching and explaining, it won't take me up to that. And thank God, we all agreed that there was nothing I did that is entirely new. So it simply means we all can do the same thing at equal speed. So if you are going to dedicate an hour to this page, I would really appreciate it. And I am sure it's going to look as clean as what we did today. So that we can have the whole class again, I will try to upload this video. It's 1 hour 26 minutes, so I'm sure it's going to be it's going to be very heavy. But let's try to download it and or watch it. I don't know. Most likely, I will probably paste it on YouTube because I'm out of space on my drive. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Because if I
Yes,
paste it
sir.
on if I paste it on Google Drive, you would need the exact same data size that I used to upload it. But if I paste on YouTube, it's going to compress it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
going
to
to be easy
compress
for
it.
yeah, it's going to be easy for you to watch.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I does anybody have any other thing to say? Any other questions to ask?
And sir, regarding the second dashboard,
Mm.
like the one we want to work on, it does not necessarily it is the
No,
saving
no, no. In
dashboard.
fact, we don't even know what this dashboard is for. We just use placeholders. So just make it fun. Make anything you want to do. Anything.
No, sorry, should it be the same color?
No, no, no. Come on. In fact, if you do the same color, I'll probably not even take a look at it.
Okay.
There are thousands of colors to use. Just explore, explore. And please, if you are using, okay, thank you for that question. If I see red, if I see pink, naturally I'll give you 0.
Ah,
Why? Why would you use pink? Come on. Or why would you use red? It's part of your research. You need to know why we are using those colors. You will rarely see people use those colors. There's a reason why. If I thought you will now use those colors, I'm not saying you guys are not good yet, or I'm not saying you are not masters yet, but if you will use those colors, I really want to see how you will manage those colors. Recently, I used red for a design, and I was pleased. For the first time, I used red, and I'm happy with what I did. It's because colors like that are difficult to manage. So if you are using it, you must manage it well, or else, man, you and I will fight because I will trouble
and
your life.
I realized lately that most of our web and app colors they mostly use blue.
It's because blue is easy to use. It's not that red or pink are not good colors. They are good colors if you use them well. Until I've been designing since 20 long before, like 5 years now. Omo, you remember that Etihad designer? Etihad.
Yeah,
That's my second design. My second design with red. And for the first time, I had the confidence to post it online. I had the confidence to post a UI design with color red online. It's because it's difficult to use. So if a newbie uses those colors, I am sure it's going to be terrible.
that's true, sir.
So rather than
That's
rather
true.
than give yourself that unnecessary work and hate, because I will hate it. Just use colors that are
That's
easy
true.
to manage. Use green. Don't use yellow, please. Use green, use blue, use purple, violet, cyan. Colors like that are easy to manage.
All right, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So that's an important one. It's an important
Thank
question.
you.
All right. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
But
Yeah.
sorry, you want us to use red as accent color?
Oh yeah. What is the okay? I'm sure I didn't actually teach color psychology, but I want to say this and I want to say this once. You can use red, but I'm saying, can you manage red as a color? If the answer is yes, then use red. If the answer is no, look for an alternative color. Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, I did. I did. Thank you.
Yes. If you want to represent error with red, you just, that one is clear. We know this is error. But can you use red and it will not
Right.
register error in the color, in the mind of the person using it? That's what I mean by manage. So if you can do that, come on, I would love to see what you are doing. I would love to see it. If you can manage red and it will really make sense, me, I would love to see what you are doing. But if you cannot, just avoid it. Don't even use it because I'll trouble your life. I have many questions to ask. She understand.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. God
Yeah.
bless you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oshigo and Mami. Bye.
Thank you, sir.